Anyone got a pencil? Hello and welcome to the Mixtape podcast. My name's Mark and I am your host. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode. Every week on the show, I ask my guests to make up an imaginary mixtape and pick 6 tracks for it. I've had some incredible chats. They're already there in the archives, just waiting for you to stumble across them. I've had chats with Steve Kilby from The Church, Rowetta from The Happy Mondays, Rick from Ash. I've had Al Anderson, one of the original Wailers. I've had Clint Boone from Your Spiral Carpets. I've had Donita Sparks from L7. I've had Scott Kirkland from The Crystal Method. There's lots and lots of episodes sitting there waiting for you to discover. If you enjoy this week's episode, please feel free to rate it 5 stars on Spotify and or jump up to the top of the page and hit that old follow or subscribe button, and you'll be notified every time there is a new episode. Catch up with everything I'm doing by going to www.themixtapepodcast.com. That's enough for the intro. I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Hello and welcome to the Mixtape Show. And on this week's show, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Spacerhead. How are you, fellas?
Hey, how are we?
How are you, Mark?
Great, thanks for coming on. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let's go back a little bit before we start looking forward to what you got coming up. Like, tell us a little bit about how you met, like your origin story, you know, how you got together as a band.
It was during COVID, a COVID project, as most bands had these days. We've all grown up with the passion of music and we've all been really good friends, but we had always sort of played in other bands or sort of experimented with different sort of styles of music. And just during that time, it just, you know, we're all not doing music the way we wanted to. And we just had this, I don't know, collaboration together, just being friends and just thinking, let's start this band. Initially, we had a drummer called Ben who was in our band. He and I played in a band called Joyce. Unfortunately, we tried to, you know, work on this project with Spacerhead. And then Tyson, it took me so many years to convince Tyson to pick up his bass again and play. And I'm so glad he did. It's been great. And then Jordan, of course, has been playing with us for the last just over a year now.
Yeah, so I reckon 15 years we've known each other, Lindsay. But
that's crazy.
Yeah. The band going 4 years strong, maybe 4? I don't know.
We didn't play our first show until a couple of years ago, of course, when it was with Ben, and we recorded our first album with Ben as well. But initially we were starting as this ambient noise sort of experiment, but we just gravitated towards those, I don't know, rhythmic drums, hard-hitting bass and noisy guitars and some vocals to fit.
Yeah. So you're talking about the albums. Your most recent album's a self-titled one, is that right?
That is right, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one you just toured, as you just talk about the tour, you toured a few dates around Australia recently? How was that for you?
Correct, yeah, that was incredible. Yeah. Lots of new friends and just getting to, you know, tour as our current unit. I feel like
Australia's beautiful, man. It's incredible just to go around and see. There's little music scene pockets throughout all of our cities. And it's eye-opening.
Yeah.
And they've all been so welcoming with us coming over. It was way better than we expected. And hey, we came back as a band still, so.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because you sort of get together as a band and you play your local town and, you know, you do your gig and you rehearse a fair bit and all the rest of it, but there's no test like going on tour. So yeah, it's good that you made it in one piece.
Well, we're all snorers, so I think that's the only thing. I think we're all in harmony as we were sleeping our nights together. But it was great. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Good. Okay, and coming up, you're going to be doing some recording in April, is that right? And Split 7 Inches and one of your own as well?
Yeah, we're doing one with two of one of our favourite local bands, Hidden Cycles and Moya Moya. We're going to go up to, I know that you did the interview with Ben from Reinhardt's.
Yeah.
We're going up to his recording studio, or should I say their recording studio, Pink House, to do recording up there. And Aidan, the guitarist and lead singer of Hidden Cycles, will be helping us with that. So
Cool.
we're really excited. And then hopefully
Yeah.
soon after that, we'll be recording the new album.
Yeah, right. Is Benny producing that for you, those singles, or is you just using his studios?
I think we're just using his studio, but to be honest, we've been so interested in recording there, or having Nicky or Ben be part of it. So we're hoping that this is sort of an initial experience for us to do further things there.
Okay, let's get into the mixtape tracks then. So track 1 is your attention grabber, your one to kick off the mixtape in fine style. What did you pick for that?
I know it is Young. What's the actual name of the song, Lindsay? We've got the CD here. We came prepared.
You came to me like a cancer.
Yes. Yeah, the very long title.
Lay dormant till it blossomed like a rose.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Lindsay introduced me to this song, but I've suggested it as our attention grabber. But it's just it's a pernicious little beast. It's simple and it just crawls into your head and stays there.
I listened to it on YouTube and I thought, is the record stuck here? Like, what's going on?
Exactly. It's
I was
like,
just going to say that.
I sort of hated it the first time and then didn't hate it as much the second time. And then sort of the third time was apathetic. And like every listen through, I'm sort of like, you know what, this rocks.
Yeah. No, it's a good attention grabber for sure, and it's gonna be an interesting one for the mixtape listeners. But that's the joy of the mixtape. That's the joy of the mixtape. Like you've got a track like your track 5, Lewis, which couldn't be musically, and then especially with your track 6 as well. That's why I love the mixtape, because there's no set genre. It's just whatever you pick, that's what we play on the show. Yeah, well, I don't think I've ever not played a track. I've had to do a fair bit of editing for some language because my show goes out at 6. The radio show goes out at 6, so I can't have any swearing. I used to be in a late night slot and it didn't matter. I could throw whatever at them. No one cared. Yeah, because it was like 10 till midnight. But now I'm in the 6 till 8 prime time evening slot. It's like
nice.
No more swearing, mate. Yeah, so it's good to be in an earlier slot because there's more listeners. But it comes like we said earlier. Everything comes with a cost. Okay, track 2. And I ask you to pick a song you sing when you're on your own, loud and proud, in the car or the shower. So which one of you is channeling his inner Iggy?
That will be me. I won't lie. We got the Stooges.
There we go.
I Want to Be a Dog by the Stooges.
Yeah.
It's just an absolute classic song. 3 chords. One of the first songs I ever learned as well on guitar. It wasn't Smoke on the Water, believe it or not. It's such a great song. It's in the perfect vocal range for I think anyone. I love watching him or the Stooges play it live and just seeing the extension or the sort of mix that they do of a live version. It's just, and so many bands have covered it so well. It's just a classic song that we all love.
I've always found that the guitar in that, and musically, that song, it sounds really contemporary. Like you would never put it as like whatever it is, 40 or 50 years old. Like it's, it sounds so fresh. Do you know what I mean? And new. Like it's well before its time. I think that the guitar on that, it's unreal. Yeah.
I mean, the Beatles were singing about holding your hand, and here's Iggy Pop singing about wanting to be used as your sort of pet. It's just such a great, sexy, dirty song that still holds up.
Yeah. Fantastic choice.
And I love the John Cale doing the keys, just the one note throughout the whole entire song. We did a song on our last album called Shakes, where the second guitar is just playing the same note throughout the whole song. And it was sort of inspired by that sort of one piano key just playing throughout the whole song.
Yeah. It's the second time. I just before we started this chat, I put out this week's episode with Don Mariani from the Tour of 4. And he picked Down on the Street, I think, as his album track. Yeah, as his B-side, like a left field obscure choice. Yeah, so and I'm surprised. What are we 40? This will be episode 46, I think. And Iggy and the Stooges didn't appear until like 44. I was well surprised. Bob Dylan's here every other week, but Iggy and the Stooges.
I mean, yeah, that's it. You can't go wrong with Dylan, though.
No, you can't. No. Track 3, and I asked you to pick your favourite cover version. What did you pick for that?
The cover version, we went with Big Black, the model.
Mm.
Big Black is a huge inspiration to us, just the way that band sort of coexisted, not having a drummer and obviously having a drum machine. I mean, we love all the Steve Albini recordings that he's done. I mean, he's done such great records, but we just love this version because they make it their own. And initially when I heard the song, I didn't realize it was a cover until, you know, I bought the record and could see in the liner notes that it's a cover by this band called Krautrock. And that just opened up a whole new world of krautrock for me. And I've been obsessed with krautrock for 15 years ever since learning that.
Embarrassingly, I remember when that came out, I was only like 7 or 8 years old, but I remember it being like on top of the pops.
Yeah.
What
a song.
Oh, what a tune. Yeah. I think they were in Perth recently, Krautrock. Did you see them?
They did. Yes. We were third from the front. I don't know how we saw the tickets, but it was incredible. Did you go?
No, I didn't. No. I think I had every intention, but it might have been just one of them where, because I'm a week on, week off dad, I have to be quite selective on when I spend. Like babysitters these days, they want 35 an hour.
Oh, far out.
Right, so it's four hours minimum, right, for a gig. This is $140 on top of my gig ticket. I'm like, do you know what? I'd like to, but like the week just
gone.
They're
pretty expensive.
Yeah, and the week just gone, it was Teenage Fan Club, The Streets, Jose Gonzalez, The National.
Oh, yeah.
I could have been out every night last week. Do you know what I mean? And it would have cost me like an arm and a leg. Babysitter sitting there going, "Oh, lovely jubbly." Yeah. Yeah, I think it was one of them where I was on dad duty that week, and I couldn't get there, which is the first thing I checked. It wasn't
great.
Oh, thanks, cheers, yeah, nice one, appreciate that.
All right.
All right, and talking of industrial electrical, track 4, and I asked you to pick a song you wish you could play to your 18-year-old self. What did you pick for that?
All right, that was mine. This one came to me almost instantly. Laurie Anderson's "Oh Superman."
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like pictured myself at 18, and there was this skit on SNL called "Dear Sister." They were playing an Imogen Heap song, and I just thought at that it was what you say. I don't know. Very very cheesy. But those sounds, and it just infiltrated our brains, and I feel like Laurie Anderson kind of was doing that for our entire lives. This album was out by her, Big Science, and we didn't hear it until Lindsay showed us, probably, getting into our late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
And it's just, absolutely like life-changing for me as an album. Laurie Anderson's sound and the way she uses the vocoder and synthesizers and everything. It's she's just incredible.
Yeah, she's a proper artist for sure. I think Imogen Heap you mentioned there, I'm pretty sure she's got a song that she uses a very similar vocal effect. I can't remember what it's called now.
Hide and Seek is the song.
Hide and Seek. Yeah.
Beautiful. And that's
a tune, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I love that one.
It's great. Yeah, I love how it's it was like number 1 or number 2 in like 1981 on like BBC radio.
Yeah.
And it's a 9-minute song. You don't usually get, groups of that era sort of doing 9-minute songs with hardly any structure or anything. And it's such an art form, that song. You can interpret this. I love reading the arguments of what people think that song represents or is trying to say, but there's just so many different interpretations of that song, and it's just a great conversation. And it's just with all the birds in the background and the sort of synth and just that, it's just beautiful.
What I like about it is it's so sparse, and like musically, obviously, it's so sparse, and vocally, even the spoken word parts, they're sort of, quite sparse as well. But it really holds your attention. Like, you want to listen, like you want to find out like what's coming next, like what's going to be happening next. Like, it's just, it's unreal.
I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah.
Fantastic track. Okay, Now, this is the one I've been excited to talk to you about. Track
Oh,
5.
I'm excited.
Track 5. Song you would put on your mixtape to let the listener know you are romantically interested. What did you pick?
Okay.
Have you got it?
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got it.
No
Yeah.
way.
To be fair,
Sorry, go on.
to be fair, this is my partner's.
Right,
But,
okay.
I mean, we've been together for 6 years now, and we put this record on all the time. Funny enough, when we started dating, we actually gave each other mixtapes, and she introduced me to that album, Lewis, and I just completely fell in love with the album as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's just something else, isn't it? I'm so glad that you dug it and searched around and tried to uncover the mystery like everyone else has.
You know what though? Do you know what? I was already subconsciously aware of it, and I'll tell you why. Because last week, as I mentioned to you in the messaging, I had Diesel on, right? And his track 6 was Baby by Donny and Joe Emerson, right? Which, if you're not familiar, right, I'll send you a link, right, for that. And it's another Light in the Attic reissue, right? A very similar story.
I think we might have to.
Yeah, I've just bought it the other day, and
oh, beautiful.
I was watching obviously the videos on YouTube a lot, and on YouTube the suggested videos come up, and that's obviously quite a memorable image, like that album cover. And so when I'd sort of already sort of seen it, and sort of subconsciously took the image in. So when I clicked the link that you sent for your track 5, I was like, I already know this. How do I already know this? And then when I started
looking,
and I saw that it was a Light in the Attic reissue, I was like, that's why it's been coming up as a suggested video, and I've subconsciously recognised like that image.
It's iconic.
Do you know much about Lewis or the story behind the record or anything like that? Tell us a little bit about that if you know.
What I remember is that someone happened to find it in a flea market as, just getting clearance at a record store. And he saw the cover and thought it might be a country album. Took it home and was just completely floored just by the sound and the textures and just how raw it is. And then he's just been, as record collectors do, sort of reach out with each other and try and find out. I know that they ended up finding some inner notes from the photographer who did some of the photos for him. And I think it was an old 1980s punk rock photographer in LA. And all that he remembered was that this guy came from Miami. I think he lost his house in a mudslide or something, was part of the stock exchange market, and was just driving around America like a nomad with supermodels, and it just was in Beverly Hills and decided he wanted to record all these songs that he did, I think within 2 days. And it's such a magical record because it captures just how raw and how we love the song, because it's obviously a beautiful song, but it sort of shows that you don't need to overproduce or overmix something to make it better. Almost that raw sound just adds the character to it. And if anyone hasn't heard Lewis more, I would definitely recommend it. His voice is almost like on the edge of just crying or just breaking down, and you can almost hear his tears just welting down his face, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
The kicker as well, nobody knows who he is or where he is. His royalties from the reissues have been held in escrow by Light in the Attic Records until one day he puts his hand up and goes, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's it.
Unbelievable story. Yeah, I really need to do a deep dive on Light in the Attic Records, because they've only just come up on my radar in the last week or so, and the Donny and Joe Emerson story is very similar in terms of how it was unearthed. So a guy found the record. They're both in like Elvis white wingtip jumpsuits on the front cover, right? These like teenage boys, and the guy bought the record in a junk shop or whatever for $5, and he played it, and it was the same guy who unearthed not the same guy who unearthed it, but the same guy who found out more about Lewis was the guy who dug up the Donny and Joe Emerson. And
I wasn't aware of that.
yeah, John is his Flesher, I think his name is. He's a music.
That sounds right. Yeah,
he's a music writer. Same guy. He discovered he must know Matt, who runs Light and Yak Records. I think there must be some connection there. And he found the Emerson Brothers record in a junk shop. Paid $5 for it in whenever it was 2008. Took it home and was blown away by it in a very similar way to the Lewis story, and started spruiking it on Facebook pages and websites, and he's writing about it and stuff, and it just grew into this cult thing. And Ariel Pink, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, sort of lo-fi American band. They covered Baby by the Emerson Brothers, and then it got sort of a bit more sort of momentum. And then in 2012, so the Emerson Brothers, they put the record out. So the story is, sorry, let me go back a bit. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
So the recording is, the Emerson Brothers grew up in this one-horse town outside of Washington on a farm, 750 population in the town where they grew up. But all they did all day was drive their dad's tractor around the farm and listen to the radio and listen to music. They're like 12, 13-year-old kids, right? And they were sort of started playing and learning to play and write songs and stuff like that. And their dad sort of took them into whatever the next nearest town was and took them into a recording studio. And they recorded a 2-track, like 7-inch. And sort of inspired by that, they just carried on like writing songs. And their dad mortgaged the farm to the hill. And this is like in the 70s, remember? He put $100,000 into building them a state of the art at the time, like recording studio, and bought them all the instruments and everything, like mortgaged himself up to the hill, back their sort of, their talent. They recorded an album called Dreaming Wild, which is incredible. And they pressed 2,000 of them on vinyl, and they sold about 10. And that was it. Because they had no marketing plan, right? He's just gone, we'll press these ourselves, right? And then that's it. There's nothing, no distribution or nothing like that. So he's
sounds like my first band.
Yeah, he's lost all his money. The bank have taken like 3/4 of the farm. Like Donny went off, and I think he opened up a recording studio in the next town, and that was what he did forever. Like, and then his brother Joe carried on working on the farm, forever.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, like 40 years later, maybe 35 years later, Light in the Attic reached out to him and said, "We want to put your album out." And they were like, "What album are you talking about?" And they said, "Dreaming Wild." It's amazing. And then
it's incredible, isn't it?
Oh, it's an amazing story. And then to cap it off, there's a movie now about their life story. Casey Affleck plays Donny Emerson, Walton Goggins plays Joe Emerson, and Beau Bridges plays their dad.
What was that film called again?
It's called Dreaming Wild, same as the album. So and they've just put it out on the streaming platforms. And I was looking, when Diesel mentioned it, I looked up what the original press of Dreaming Wild sells for, and it sold for like $750. Then earlier, I looked at L'Amour. What do you reckon the original press of that has sold for, maximum in Australian dollars?
Oh, that's tough.
More or less. I'll say $5.
It's more than $750. It's more than $750.
Okay. Well,
no way. I was thinking $1,000.
$2,000.
No.
$2,000. That is sold on Discogs.
This is original.
$2,000. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Even the represses. I think there's a clear, a red, and a blue repress. I was looking at them earlier because I thought I'll grab one of them. But even the represses go like $80, $100. Yeah. So I was like, I've got to get that record. But yeah, that's the story. So
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
To round out this little segment of track 5, inspired by the Emerson Brothers story and hearing that album and watching the movie trailer, I reached out to Donny Emerson on Instagram and said, will you come on my radio show and podcast? And he said yes. He's being a bit cagey about dates and times, but his initial reaction was, yes, I'd love to come on, but it's a bit tricky trying to pin him down to a date and a time. I don't want to be too needy and pushy.
No, that's a true musician right there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was like, I can't. He's just like, he's done with the movie premiere and all that kind of stuff. With the promo for all that's all out of the way. So I thought it'd be a good time. And and he said yes, and I was like, what a chat.
Man, what a score.
Now I'm thinking I want to get someone from Light and the Attic Records on as well.
They're
Because
great.
they've got an amazing story. What they do for musicians, you know, how many other Lewises or Donny and Joe Emersons are there out there? Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
Like Rodriguez, he's another one, like, and probably the most sort of well known
Yeah.
of all of those, like reissues. Yeah, rest in peace, Rodriguez. Yeah, he's another one. So I think they do amazing work, and I'd really like to. You can tell they're in it for the music. Do you know what I mean? You can tell they just buzz off the music and
100%.
bringing it to people. They're not about making loads of money, and you know, in a
Not at
similar sort of
all.
way, that's what the mixtape's about. And what I liked about Diesel's choice of that track 6 and your choice of that one as well, that perfectly encompasses what I'm trying to do with the mixtape. Like, just unearth like stuff that's not very well known and put it out there to more people, so they can, even if one person reaches out to me and says, "Mate, I love that Lewis track. What a tune!" Like, that, job done. I'm happy then. Do you know what I mean? That'll be
Amazing.
done. Right. Okay. We're getting a bit light on time, so I'm going to push on quickly to track 6 and your B-side, something a little bit obscure track. What did you pick for that?
We picked Drive Like JU Bullet Train to Vegas.
Mm.
The pick of all these songs on a mixtape was sort of, we were thinking, well, if we placed one of our songs on this mixtape, or if someone heard this mixtape, they would understand the sort of music that we're trying to write or have been influenced by. We had to put Lewis in there. But Drive Like JU is such a big influence for us. Also, the fact that the lead singer from that band and Hot Snakes, Rick Freudberg, unfortunately passed away last year. And we're all sort of still hurting and sore from that, especially knowing that they were in the midst of bringing our new Hot Snakes album out. We'll see what happens. But it's a song that came out between their first self-titled album and what was the second one, Yank Crime. It was a 7-inch that came out between those two records. And I could be wrong, but I have a feeling, if I remember, it was a song that came out and just took them to the next level in popularity around the San Diego scene or punk scene. They sort of put them on the map with that particular song. And so when Yank Crime came out, it became quite a big hit for them. Unfortunately, that was their last album as well that they did together. But it's just a song that we feel like sort of sums up what we are sort of trying to aim or push for in styles of songwriting, structure. I mean, all the songs that we've had on this mixtape have influence for that. But this song is probably, it's just a close one to us. And obscure and B-side, there is just endless amount of stuff. And we just thought, let's just stick it to something wrap it up with something that sort of relates to what we're doing as a band as well.
Awesome. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Spacerhead, Jordan, Lindsay, and Tyson.
Thanks, Mark.
Really appreciate your time, fellas. Cheers. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
That was the Mixtape podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to jump up to the top of the page and smash that follow button, and you'll be notified every time there's a new episode. Or follow me on Instagram at the Mixtape Perth. Until the next time.